let me just check the sound to make sure everything is working. See.
Small business.
Okay, we'll let some people join in. All right, great. I think we're good. So today we are unboxing the Ride1Up Roadster V2. And just before we get into this, if you're watching this live or watching this after the fact, if you are looking to purchase a Ride1Up electric bike and you find some of my content valuable, please consider using the link in the description before you make a purchase of your Ride1Up electric bike. That helps support Ebikes Escape. And yeah, we're going to unbox this and check it out a little bit. We've been doing a number of unboxings the last few weeks. I'm really looking forward to actually getting out and riding a little bit more. The weather here hasn't been as ideal as I would like for filming. And yeah, we got a couple more bikes coming, I think, and then we'll start rolling out a bunch of videos on the reviews of these bikes. Okay, so it looks like we got some people watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to talk about any electric bike that you want to talk about, whether it's this one or a different one. And yeah, I think we should take it out of the box. I do have my park tool stand here because this bike doesn't have a kickstand, so we'll hang it up maybe and might be easier. So got my assistant help me here. It's a very light bike. I could probably do this myself actually. A little bit easier. Probably the smallest electric bike box that I've received, which is kind of cool. Probably a little cheaper for them to ship it. And right there you can see that nice belt drive. So this is a belt drive single speed bike with a pretty small battery. You probably won't even really be able to tell this is an electric bike unless you got really trained eyes to look at e-bikes, I guess, or recognize them.
Tell us more about a belt drive. Why would you want that over a chain?
Oh, so the belt drive is cool because it's very low maintenance. So you shouldn't have to touch this at all for a long time. There's no grease, nothing. And part of the reason that they're able to do that is because it is a belt drive. There are internally geared hubs, like the Serial 1 by Harley Davidson electric bikes. They have a belt drive, but then there's an internally geared hub, but that adds pretty significant cost to the electric bike. So one of the nice things is with the single speed, you can still put a belt drive on there. So yeah, and some people are still joining, so let me know if you have any questions about this bike or anything related to any of the content I do. There was a little bit of damage on the other side of the box, right where the protector is for the kind of the wheel in the center of the wheel. So we'll see how that goes. I might have to kind of push that out because it looked like that protective piece broke a little bit. And another thing to note about this bike, compared to some of the other single speeds, or if you're looking at some of these single speeds, this really has like road tires on it. So these are pretty thin, and there are, there's the Rad Mission from Rad Power Bikes that has a wider tire. And then the other thing is this has like caliper brakes, so pretty standard brakes on bikes, not disc brakes like we see very often these days with electric bikes. So not necessarily a bad thing, low maintenance, which I do think is nice, but yeah, we'll see how the stopping power is and such. And if someone is, can someone type in the comments, just make sure sounds okay and stuff, that would be helpful. And let me know, I'd be curious where people are from. I'm just trying to figure out where this is still attached. Let's see. Oh, this is the front skewer. And I think this is maybe just hung up on the, yeah, the crank. There, I got the front tire off. All right. Thanks, JT. So this is, this bike is now, I think it's at $1,045, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I think they recently changed it. So Ride1Up recently came out and announced that they're changing the prices on their electric bikes, and that was due to the tariffs, that there's an exception for electric bikes that expired on January 1st, and so it's like a 25% tariff. So Ride1Up kind of said that they were going to be raising prices, and a lot of the models went up about $100, and I think they maybe didn't go quite as high on the Roadster V2 or the Core 5. I still think you can get that, but this bike used to be at $995, so under $1,000, which I thought was a pretty good deal, especially for people who don't necessarily need a lot of range. Let me get the seat out of here quick. And I should mention too, I am not a bike mechanic, so this is not a tutorial. I have put together some electric bikes, but definitely make sure you go to a professional if you don't know what you're doing. Looks like a pretty nice seat. So we'll put that in there. And this is I think they call it silver, or I think it's white on the website maybe, but it's very much a silver color. All right, so I'm gonna bring my bike stand over here. Like I said, this is a very light electric bike, which is nice. I mean, that means you can bring it places a lot easier. So. There we go. Definitely don't have to get a specialized bike rack that can hold the weight. Jim from Montreal, thanks for joining. Yeah, $1,045. Thanks, thanks, Jim. 26-inch wheels. Let's see, I have the website up here. I don't have this memorized. These are Kenda Quest tires, 700C by 28C. So I think. So that's like 29 inches. So yeah, they're bigger. And let's see, I'll take off the rest of the packaging. And you can see the box here. This is probably the charger. And I was a little bit reluctant to do this review, mainly because this bike is a bike that I was worried, because the battery is integrated into the frame, it's not like a quick release, and I was worried about in Wisconsin, because I don't know if I'll keep this bike or not, but I was worried about having to bring it inside, and that just kind of adds the whole bike. But I talked to Kevin, who's the owner of Ride1Up, and he said you can remove it in a few minutes, so it's not as big of a deal as I thought, but it's probably one of those things where you want to charge the bike with the battery in it. You wouldn't want to like undo it every time when you're charging the battery, so something to keep in mind on this bike. Alright, so in this box we got the tools, simple tools. We got the Roadster V2 manual. We got the pedals, Welgo metal pedals, and the charger here. And let me pull up these specs too so I can make sure. So this is a 36 volt, 7 amp hour battery, and so that's I think 252. Yeah, 252 watt hours. Or sorry, amp hours. All right, so let's see. Keep taking off the packaging. So 252 watt hours is, about half to a third of some of the capacities that you see. So see what we kind of get on range. I'll probably take this and do a range test since it shouldn't be too terribly difficult. You get a pretty simple display. And I do think the silver looks pretty nice. So it comes in black and a burgundy as well. And we'll see how powerful the motor is. I think that's the other thing is when people are looking at some of these single speed electric bikes, they're always curious about how much power, how many, what kind of hills they can tackle. And what's really cool is we will be able to compare this to the Rad Power Bikes Rad Mission. I think there's some pretty key differentiators between the two. Obviously a significantly larger battery on the Rad Mission. It's a 10.4 amp hour battery, 48 volt versus this 36 volt. And then, like I said, you have the wider tires and those sort of things. All right. Love the belt drive though. I think that's one of the advantages to this bike. Yeah, Charlie says the unboxings is fine, but I like to see the full of the bike. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I only do this because it gives a chance for people to ask questions about electric bikes if they want to, and I have to unbox it anyway. So there are many reviews coming. It's just our weather here in Wisconsin hasn't been ideal. I did get the KBO Breeze review out, and so I have the Aerial Rider D-Class to do a review on, this bike, and the Rad Mission, and so plenty of more actual reviews. And then I'll do probably some content on comparing them. I'm also working on, yesterday I was able to do some filming on the Bolton controller upgrade for Rad Power Bikes on a Radwagon 4, which I don't think has been, at least there's not a whole lot of videos online about it. When am I going to do a full review? So this bike, it'll probably be a few weeks because it kind of depends on the order too, I guess. So we'll see. Within maybe the next month or so, it actually takes a lot of time to do the filming with the 360 camera. And I do like to ride these bikes around a little bit, so I, can give my accurate opinion of them. So I'm not just churning out a bunch of different reviews to just get them out there. I want to spend a little bit of time with the bike, so I'll do my best. I like the chain ring guide. Nothing worse than chewing up my trousers on the chain. Yeah, very true. Let's see. I think I'll put the handlebars on next. So one of the nice things, this really shouldn't take me too terribly long because there's not a whole lot here. I mean, you can see these handlebars look pretty narrow, so something to keep in mind. And they have a nice badge on the front, the Ride1Up. That's a little bit different than they have on the other bikes. I think usually it's just kind of painted on there. So yeah, basically you have the brakes, and let's say I think I have these twisted here. mean, there's no throttle, there's a bell, and yeah, I mean, the cables even are all right here because they don't have to go down as far. And I mean, you can tell this is a little bit bigger here because the battery is obviously internal there, but I don't think a lot of people, if you were cruising past them, would have any idea that this is an electric bike. And the nice thing is, compared to some of the other Ride1Up bikes, at least assembly-wise, I mean, the fork was already installed on this. You saw at the beginning how small this box is, so. So I think this is, you know, for someone that has to bring their electric bike up to an apartment or something, or has a super short commute that's maybe doesn't have a lot of hills, I think, you know, this is a pretty affordable option to get some assist, but we'll see how it goes. This was announced last year, I believe. So I've reviewed all of the Ride1Up models except for the 700 series. So we still have our Ride1Up Limited. My mom's going to be riding the Ride1Up Core 5, and my brother and his wife have a 500 series step through. And I did a review on all those, so you can check out the videos on my channel. Also did write-ups on my website as well. Eventually I will do a 700 series video. And yeah, like I said, I really like the having the belt drive. I think that's really cool. It's one thing that I thought was really great about those Harley Davidson bikes that I tested out. I got this twisted around again. Yeah, so these handlebars are pretty narrow. Something that I would imagine some people might want to change out. Personal preference thing, I suppose. These are Tektro brakes. And I think the top speed on this is maybe, I think they say on the website it can go up to maybe 24. I can double check here in a second, but I'll be curious. Just put on here quick. And then we'll put the front wheel on, and then pretty much the pedals, that's the only other thing that you have to assemble, so super easy. And so besides this one and the Rad Mission, I believe I will also be reviewing the KBO Hurricane, which is also a single speed belt drive. I think that one's $10.99. Not as long as a track record as Ride1Up, but still something worth checking out. But that one hasn't been shipped yet. And so this week's video will probably be on the Bolton controller install, and then sometime after that I'll show the performance test of that bike. The Radwagon 4 with the controller. That was a lot of fun to install. Just a fun little project to do. Let's see, I have to attach also the the small LCD screen here to the plug. With these connectors, usually there's just an arrow on each side and you just push them together carefully. We had to do a lot of that yesterday with the controller upgrade. See, didn't know they do caliper brakes on e-bikes anymore. Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm not aware of any other bikes that use these, caliper brakes. Obviously, these are really standard on road bikes, which you can go just as fast on a road bike as on this. So it should provide, enough stopping power. Yes, it would have been nice for them to put discs. So, review suggests a suspension seat post, or suspension seat. I would check out the Cloud9. That's one of the brands that I recommend pretty frequently because they are really popular, and most people, even on the Rad Owners Forum, say that they like them. I will say on some of those seats, at least the ones that I've tried, the seat itself, like even if it has a little suspension, it doesn't provide as much support as, say, an actual suspension seat post. So, I guess if it were me, I would probably prefer to have a suspension seat post over like a seat. Like if I had one upgrade, I would probably go with the suspension seat post first before the seat. But I mean, again, like a saddle like this, like I'm perfectly okay with, whereas, there's a lot of people who like something a little bit comfier, and they are nicer for longer rides. So, you need to review Bike Tricks. I agree, Charlie. I've been trying to get in touch with them because I really do like a lot of their offerings. And I've heard very little from them, we'll put it that way. So I would love to review their bikes. I think they're priced really good. The customizations are really awesome. So yeah, if they're on my list, I'll keep at them. Let's see. Got the front quick release here. Is the LCD screen removable? Oh, suspension seat posts. Yeah, James. So as far as suspension seat posts, I haven't tried some of the, I guess, more affordable ones that are on Amazon. I think there's a brand called Satori, Satori. I've always kind of stuck with the names that I know, so that I like the SR Sun Tour because it's only like just over $100, and if you buy it from their website, you can get like an additional 10% off, I believe. I would start there. I also do, let's see, I think what else, other ones, I was just gonna look. So a lot of these accessories I'm talking about are on my website, ebikeescape.com. You click at the top, the e-bike accessories list. I just wanna make sure I'm saying the other model correctly. We've also been using the Cirrus Cycles one. That one is quite a bit more expensive. I thought I had, yeah, it's the Connect 2.1. I always forget because the naming is a little bit weird. That one is more expensive. It's a little bit hard to tell the difference between the two, but I do like it and I use it. They sent me that to review. Also, the Cane Creek Thudbuster is also a popular choice. That one is not one that I've tried, and I should be able to be testing out PNW Components dropper post. So it gives you your adjustability, but it's a suspension dropper post, and I can't remember the exact price on that, but if you Google that, you'll be able to find that. So we'll see how that is, because that gives even more option to raise and lower the seat post. And I haven't tried a dropper post before. So as I mentioned, the box got damaged on this side, and there's a little plastic covering here, and it kind of got jammed into the wheel here. So I'm just trying to push it out with the end of the skewer. And there we go. I think it's going to be, I don't think it did any other damage. The box was in pretty good shape besides that. Alright, let's see. So yeah, 700C by 28C. And just making sure when you are installing these, there is a front or a direction that they go. And this just says drive, so I know which way it needs to go on. And hopefully this is pretty easy. It's actually been a while since I put on a wheel that doesn't have disc brakes. I'll probably have to loosen these up. Let's see, usually there's so there's a little, a little tab here that you can hit that kind of loosens them up so you can get the wheel inside there. It looks like I'll have to do a little bit of adjusting, but with the brakes. So yeah, on the head badge of this bike it says, has like the 1-Up from Ride1Up, their logo, I guess. And then it says class 3, 350 watt. And I want to look at their website too, because I want to make sure I'm getting the other specs correct. There we go. So 350, 350 watts with 40 Newton meters of torque. And it says up to 24 miles per hour, so we'll see how hard I have to work to get it that much. Sorry, James here. Is the LCD unit removable? Yeah, so there's a quick release here, or not a quick release, just a plug that you can unplug, and yeah, you could. Yeah, I don't see any. You can move it to the other side if you wanted to. If there's enough cable, I would imagine you could get it on this side. So yeah, it is removable. Let's maybe power it up. Little power button at the top says 1-Up, and then it's immediately, shows that it's on. And let's see, there's an M button, average speed, max speed, shows the battery life, battery shows that it's full, and then pedal assist 1 to 5. Let me get the pedals on and then let's see what else we got. Welcome Dennis from Lodi, California. Really like the Roadster, but my wife said it must have a throttle. Went with the mission. We have a rad runner and love the company. Yeah, so the throttle is nice. I have to say, we've been riding the Rad Mission a little bit. I haven't done a ton of riding on it, but what I will say is with the single speed, I imagine for a lot of people it is really nice to have that throttle just to get going. Yeah, and obviously I'll probably do a separate video on this bike, and then we'll do some comparison videos. I hope to have 3 single speeds and talk about all of them and compare them side by side. So this is the right pedal, so this one's going to thread normally. And since I do have this in the stand, I can probably, as long as the brakes aren't rubbing, I can show the pedal assist. I'm just trying to look down here. Might be like an internal with the magnets. You can kind of see there's a cap at the bottom of the frame here where the electronics cables come out and then obviously go to the motor here. And then the left pedal. And the charger port is on this side, and it has a cover on it to prevent water from anything going in there. But it's going to be hard to explain. But it's basically right here in the center of this, where it's kind of welded here. have bottle cage bosses here, which is nice. Oh, and I didn't mention, this is the large frame. They also have I think a small frame. So something to keep in mind. And let's see. Just get this wrench out quick. Let's see. How do you clean the belt? Good question. I don't know. I don't know if you need to clean it at all or spray it off. I mean, it's just like a belt. So I would imagine you could just rinse it off, let it dry. I mean, I don't think you're gonna do any harm to it. You do need a different wrench, I believe, for the pedals. So obviously the nice thing is, no maintenance on this. I don't know why that other wrench wasn't fitting. It's 15. Now I want to take a quick look at the battery too. There we go. Let's see if I can. So the battery, it looks like I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious now how this battery comes out, because there's a hex here, and underneath here it says Roadster, which is kind of cool, and then here. So I wonder if you actually pull the battery out. You have to pull it out from the bottom here. So that's kind of that's interesting. So, all right, let's I guess we'll see how I can just show you the pedal assist. Let's go down to pedal assist 1 maybe. Yeah, pretty quiet motor, I would say. So that's pedal assist 1. Brakes work. Pedal assist 3. Yeah, cool. I think that's mostly. I'm going to check out your questions here, but yeah, it's hard to show these handlebars. Maybe I'll take it down and I'll hop on it here in a second. But if you have any other questions that you want to ask me, let me know in the comments. Dennis says, I think I need a Mission and a Roadster. There you go. I will say another really good thing about the Mission is if you're already in the Rad Power Bikes family, you can, that battery is interchangeable. So you pay $1,100, you have another electric bike, but you also have another battery that you can use on another Rad Power Bikes. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, I feel like, of course they're both single speeds, they're around the same price, but there's really some key differentiations that you need to think about. Super light, whereas the Rad Mission, is quite a bit heavier. Skinny tires versus wider tires on the Rad Mission, which is really nice. Of course, the battery life, that comes with the weight and things like that. So, of course, I'll test them side by side, but I'll probably talk about a lot of those things so you can help people decide which bike might be for them. When this bike was $995 in the Rad Mission, went up to $1,100, which was the normal pricing, maybe you could say that, oh, this is a better deal and this is all you need, but now the prices are a little bit closer. So I guess it's only $100. So yeah, I'm really excited to check out even the gearing too. I'll do a video on that, and hills, of course, is going to be a big part of any single speed videos, because it's a lot easier for me to talk about how a single speed climbs while pedaling than, you know, going with something with different gears, and I'm, you know, putting different effort in, and it's kind of hard to explain that in a video. So custom handlebars as an option. So these are pretty thin handlebars, so you might need a different stem. Not sure on that one, or you could maybe find something that just has longer bars. So it's just going to depend. It's, you know, it's one of those, I don't know what you call it. It's like a city bike, like you see in, I don't know, New York City, San Francisco, something like that. I don't know, maybe a hipster bike, along those lines. How many rotations of the crank before the motor kicks in? All right, I'll put it on pedal assist 1. Oh, and one other difference I should talk about. The Rad Mission has like an LED display, not to be confused with LCD. This actually does have an LCD screen, and I think if I change it, it should tell me, yeah, it actually tells me my speed, whereas on the Rad Mission, you'd have to use like your phone app. So here you can judge how fast it kicks in. So I'd say that's like a half rotation or so. Yeah. But I would imagine, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about. Yeah, review on this bike coming in the next few weeks once I get through some of the backlog, once we get some better weather here in Wisconsin. And yeah, if you are looking to purchase one of these bikes, please consider using the link that will be in the description. Otherwise, you can just go to my website, ebikeescape.com. There's a link to Ride1Up just in the sidebar there. You can click that. And yeah, lots of other content written over there. You can check out my electric bike accessories list, my top e-bike brands that we recently created. Oh yeah, Dennis says he ordered the LED upgrade. So that's actually the LCD upgrade for the Mission, which is $99, and then you get the same display that's on all of the other models. So that's definitely an option as well. So, all right, I'll give it one more minute. If you have any other questions, you want me to talk about anything, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be posting a video hopefully in the next few days, the Bolton Electric Bikes upgrade kit for the Rad Wagon. It's a 2 amp charger as well. A little bit different different type of charger than I've seen, just looks different. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching and watching me assemble this electric bike. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I do try to post more often, like during the week with what I'm doing with e-bikes on like Instagram and stuff and Facebook. So if you haven't followed me there, you can follow me there. I also send out a monthly e-bike newsletter, which kind of shares what you might have missed from the month. And a lot of mounting points on this bike. So there is mounting points here for fenders, I would imagine. Not sure. It looks like you would be able to perhaps, there's a bolt there. I'm not sure, because this is kind of set up for brakes. I'm not sure. I would imagine there's got to be some solution there. Mounting points here, I guess, would be for a rear rack. And fenders, I'm not sure. Again, you can't really do, yeah, of course you can't really do, you know, fenders or anything on this bike because of the brakes. So yeah, but looks like rear rack, you might be able to put something on there. So thanks, Dennis. Appreciate the support. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in.